Hey guys, do you want to know how to make variables in Roblox videos? I can show you today. Okay guys, so what we're gonna first start off with is pressing new up here, and you can select any of these. I'm gonna select Baseplate because it's empty and looks better than just classic. Alright guys, so now we're here. What I want you guys to do first is go up here to this and press the part so we can insert one, and then go to the move tool and just put this near your spawn somewhere. I'm gonna just put it up here. Alright, now we got this here, right? Now we're gonna go into Explorer and make sure workspace is open, and go to the part and right click it and rename it to whatever we want. I'm gonna call it tutorial part. Okay, there we go. So we are going to learn some scripting today, and it's gonna be variable. So we're gonna start off with first by doing that. We're gonna go to the part here and we're gonna press this plus and we're gonna insert a script. Okay, but before we do any, how about we go here, right? So press Baseplate again and then select this part and make sure to anchor it. Okay, now we can go back to our script. Okay guys, alright, so now we're gonna learn some variables here, and you can make variables like this. You can make it two ways. You can do local and you can do just like, so we can say, so basically variables here. So I'm gonna write a comment. I'm gonna say variables can hold numbers, objects, let's see what else, strings, numbers, objects, strings, and boolean. Okay guys, and yeah, so they can hold strings, numbers, objects, boolean, and what booleans is just true, and false. Okay, so when you hear the name booleans, it just means true or false. Okay, so strings would be like this. So I'm gonna comment this and I'm gonna put like that. So that's a string. So I'm gonna go here and look, see this right there? This is a string. Okay, right there, that's a string. And obviously guys, this is a number. This is a number. And there's something else that it can hold also. It can hold tables, and tables are the squiggly brackets. Okay, it can hold tables, and it can also hold true and false statements, right? So boolean, and it can also hold object. Okay, so like if you did script.parent, right? You see it says part. Why does it say part? It's because tutorial part. If you scroll down in its properties, right, you'll find class name is a part, and obviously this is an object in the game. So variables can also hold objects. So let's do dash and this will be okay guys, and I'm gonna just comment basically. So just go to the end of it over here and just put two slashes, not slashes. Oh my days, sorry guys, I'm messing up here. Just put, yeah, so you have to put hyphens. Okay, put two hyphens, and do not hold shift into it or it will obviously mess it up here, as you see. So just do normal hyphen here. So I'm gonna do that again, and these will comment it out. And why we're commenting it out is because we're gonna write a little bit of code, and if we kept these in, it would cause errors and just stop the entire script from working. Okay, so also what I want to tell you guys before we start with some more code is tables, right? So I'm just gonna show an example. I'm gonna tell you guys how to do this like in a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna do, this is table, local table. So this is already something. If it turns blue, do not use it, okay? Because that means it's something else that Roblox has already. So if I went down here, right, and as you see it turned blue, so if I write table, right, it's just not a good idea, because let's for example just delete this, right? So if we did table dot, see, it's already, so basically it's a pre-built Roblox function or slash a variable. Okay, so now I just want to show you guys a table, right, because that's what I was trying to do. So if you want to write that, just maybe add a 1, or do not do it if it's blue. Okay, so we just put equals, so you put local, and then you just put what you want, right, what the name of your variable is, and then just put equal. Okay, and now we're gonna put a table. So we just put the squiggly brackets like I told you up here, and basically a table can hold variables, it can hold strings, numbers, booleans, and objects. Basically the same thing as what variables can hold, except it cannot hold, so it can basically hold everything that a variable can hold. Okay, so in this table we can do anything we want. We can do this, So a table can hold many things. So I'm gonna start off with a string. So I'm gonna just call this hello, okay? You put comma, two comma, quotation mark, and you just put whatever word inside of that, or whatever you want. And then if you want to put another item in that table, you just put a comma, and then you can put something else. So I'm gonna add a boolean. See, as you see, Roblox says it right there, boolean. So if you can put true or false, doesn't matter, and we can just keep doing some more. So comma, we can do script.parent, we could do comma again, and we could add like a number. So I'm gonna put 76. And obviously, can't really do anything right now with this table. So what we're gonna do with the table is we're gonna do table 1, right? Because that's our variable right there. We can do here, we can actually, yeah, we can do this brackets, just normal brackets, and we can do like 1. And obviously this is causing an error. So what we can do is actually we can control X this, okay? And now what we can do is we can do print. So printing is very useful. What it does is right here, it says prints all provided values to the output. So it prints everything down. And if you do not have this open, right, just go to view up here and right there out, and the icon looks like that, okay? So now what we can do is just we can paste this back in there. I told you to do control X, which cuts it, okay? And now we have that in there. So now if we go to the base plate, right, click that, and now if we press play, we should see that it should print something. And do not mind these errors, these are some, but as we see right there, script 15, it printed hello. And we see, if we click on it, it says right there, hello. And that's what we wrote in it. So there you go. So that's how you can, so variables can be useful for holding many different things if you want to hold like players. So for example, what I want to say is like if you have murder mystery, right? And you want to randomly select one player to be the murderer, you can use a table for that. You can hold all the players inside, like all their names, and then after you can select it through like randomization, and then you can make that person the murderer. So yeah, that's a good example for that. So now we have this, right? Now I want to show you some other way. Also, you can do this. Look, if I do a table, like I'm just gonna put 2 equals 3. This works as well, and this has different uses, okay? And also, if you put these red dots, remove them immediately. They won't help you with delete breakpoint, okay? You can do it this way. This is just a non-local variable, okay? But this has different uses. So most of the time you will be using this, okay? You'll just be using local and your variable, okay? So now we're gonna start doing some other variables here. So we're gonna do local, let's say string that, okay? Equals, and we're gonna put hello. So this is a variable, and this is also, the thing is, between these differences is that this is holding a table, and basically I'm gonna write a comment. I'm gonna say tables can hold everything that a variable can. And if you're starting to think, oh wait, why would I need to use a variable then? Well, first of all, you're gonna need a variable anyways to make a table work, okay? So that already gets that off the table. And tables are more just storing like many things, okay? So we got local string val. And then we can also do local num val equals, and then put whatever number you want. There we go. And then we could also do, so up here we put boolean. So we're gonna do local, and we can put whatever name you want. Again, bool. I'm gonna just call it bool equals true. Okay. And now we have to get to our objects, and we can do this many different ways to get our object. We can do script.parent, but script.parent really only works if it's not a really good idea if you get things outside of where the script is. So like as we see, we inserted the script in this part, so there's no reason why you would need to do script.parent, right? So yeah, so instead so we can just use script.parent for this, or, which I'm going to show you 2 ways. So I'm going to say part 1 equals script.parent. So that's one way we could get our tutorial part. Another way we could get it is do local part 2, right, equals, and what we can do is do workspace. And you're going to be probably wondering, what is workspace? Workspace is like a inbuilt Roblox variable, okay? So instead of having to do game.workspace, you could just do workspace. It's like a inbuilt variable, okay? So now we got workspace, and then what we want to do is do this, okay? We need colon, okay? The reason why we're doing this is because the script can sometimes go faster than what everything else loads, okay? And that can be a really big problem, all right? Yeah, okay? So if you have a process before, like if you're, for example, you're gonna press a button, then something happens to the part, then you do not need to do. But if you are just starting the script immediately, then you're gonna definitely have to, okay? All right? Hope you're still with me. So we're gonna do colon, right? And we're gonna do wait for child. And what this is doing is waiting until it can actually access that specific thing, okay? It does not need to actually be a part. It could be basically any, okay? Except probably the services, because that wouldn't make any sense. The services would need to load before everything. So if you're wondering also what a service is basically everything. You see workspace, that's a service. You see down here, players, that's a service. Lighting, that's a service. All of this is a service. As we see, some of them actually have names of service, some of them don't, but they're all services, okay? Now we're gonna actually continue this, okay? So you can do quotation mark, right? And we wanna get our tutorial part, or whatever you called it, right? So I'm just gonna do tutorial part, and we see it just pops up, and I'm gonna press tab, and boom, it does immediately. And boom, there, we got our object. So these are two ways you can get the object. One is from getting it from the workspace up here, where all your parts are stored. And another way is doing script.parent, and that's only really good if your script is a child of the part, okay? There we go, we got our variables here. And now, I need to show you guys why a variable is important, right? Because you're probably like, what? Why do I need this, right? Why can't I just do this, right? Why can't I just take this and just do it there? Why can't I just do that, right? Well, obviously you can do, okay? But you want to be efficient in scripting. And when you're using a lot of the same part, you're gonna want to, okay? So, for example here, I want to change my transparency, okay, of this part. So you just do, so we're just gonna add a dot, and we're gonna do dot, or so we're gonna do trans, okay? And now you can equal this whatever you want. So 1 means it's fully transparent, 0 means it's not transparent. So I'm gonna do 0.5, okay? So we did it, right? So let's go to our Baseplate here, and what we can do is play the game, or we can also run the game, okay? So I'm gonna press run, and as we see, it changed. It's not transparent, so it's like halfway to being transparent, right? So that shows that works, right? That works. But if we're trying to be efficient here, what we can do is we could just do what we call this, right? Part 2 or part 1, obviously doesn't matter which one. So we can do part 2 dot transparency equals 0.5. And we see, look how much shorter that is, right? And if you're writing this like a bunch, you have to be like, okay, part 2 dot transparency equals 0.5. It's much easier. Instead of having to do workspace dot, we have to do wait for child, and then we have to do tutorial part dot transparency equals 0.5, right? That is just very annoying, right? And these are not just the only cases where you can use a variable. Variables are very important for math in your game, in your scripts. An example of this would be like if we're trying to do some sort of calculation here. So let's do print, right? And instead of having to do 5 times 5, right? We could just do 3. We could just do numVal, right? That's what we had before, and we could just do times numVal. It's same thing, makes it easier, and it makes it very interchangeable. So for example, you're like, oh wait, this is not a correct number, you just change it, right? That's why variables are so useful. And if you want to, you can think of variables as shortcuts, like to a website, okay? An example of this would be like, you know how website, I'm gonna put a comment here. So for example, websites are like HTTP, and then we have to do ://youtube.com/something, right? Instead, all we have to do in Google, we just do youtube.com, and that's how you can think of a variable, okay? And yeah, that's how you can think of a variable. And as you see, these are very useful cases. And now we're gonna do a challenge. Alright guys, we're gonna do a challenge here. So this is gonna get you prepared for the next, maybe the next video, guys. So yeah, we're gonna do a bit of a challenge. Okay, so I want you guys, basically we're gonna do it together. I want you guys to do it first. So I'm gonna tell you what it is. You guys pause your video and you try to do it yourself from what I just showed you. Well, take that back because I want to keep this right. So I want you guys to make it so this part in a script just goes to transparent and then not transparent after a few seconds. Okay, so it just keeps doing that for maybe like 5 times. Like it goes not transparent, then transparent, not transparent. And if you are having trouble with so if you're having trouble with knowing how to do it, so like it takes some time to do it, you can just do wait, okay, and just put how much seconds you want. And if you want to be even more efficient, what you can do is make a variable and just put it in there so it waits that specific amount of number that you put in your variable. So that means it would be much easier, so you could just change your variable instead of having to change this all the time. So pause your videos, guys, here, and unpause it when you're ready for me to show you. Okay, so I'm hoping you guys did it, okay? If you didn't, it's totally fine. It's a learning experience. So I'm going to comment all of this out, okay? Because I'm gonna keep it. I want to keep it for later, obviously. So I want to show you how to do it, okay? And I'm not gonna make this all complicated with like a while true loop, which I don't think you guys know yet. So yeah, so I don't want to make it too complicated. I'm just gonna do it very simple, just in a script that runs. Okay, so I want to define our variables here. Okay, so I'm gonna do local, and I'm gonna do part equals, and I'm gonna do workspace, wait for child, tutorial part. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is do part.transparency, right, equals 1. And then I can actually just copy this, and I'm gonna do wait. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make our number variable. So I'm gonna do local wait, wait number num. So wait num equals, let's say how much, let's see, let's do it waits 0.3 seconds. Okay, so now we can just put in here wait num, and then we can just go down the line a few bit, and then we can do 0, right? So that's pretty. And then let's just add another wait, and let's do wait num. And now since we have this, we can actually just copy this entire thing, and we can just paste it here and paste it here. So it'll just keep going. But obviously it's not gonna go on forever because you guys still need to learn while true loops, and that's gonna be for a different video. Okay, so now if we run this, let's see it, and see, boom, 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 and it did it. See, it did it perfectly. And there we go. So I hope this tutorial helped you, and now you guys know how to use variables in Roblox. Okay, next time we'll show some more things, but this is it for today's video, and I hope you guys liked it. So have a good day. Bye.